Hey folks, John with Complete Technology Solutions, your friend in the computer business. Now, this is a little bit of a preempt here. The video that you're about to see, I actually shot and edited last night. You'll find out, and as you can see, we actually have a new Stumpy on the set. Last night when I was running the new Stumpy, which was by the first time I'd ever run this particular one, it's got a countdown timer on it, which looks like it's recording. I wasn't recording the whole episode. So, no joking. I know you're going to see me talking to Stumpy and showing Stumpy things, but we have corrected it for the next episode, I promise. So, without further ado, let's have a look at that episode, and I hope you enjoy it. Have a great night. Hey folks, John with Complete Technology Solutions, your friend in the computer business. Now, today I have a very interesting video. So, you all probably saw one of the donation boxes that we did, and the computer that came in on donation that we were going to go ahead and donate that just ended up sort of exploding. Yeah, so there was no way to really fix that with any good return or once again, you don't want to dump any money into something that old. However, I did mention on the last video that we got a new donation box in with a whole bunch of stuff in it, and it happens to have a very cool computer. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get that on here in just a second. And we are also debuting something cool. Hang tight. All right, folks, back with you. Welcome to the next donation box. Now, this one came in, and I can almost see over it. Pretty cool, right? Yeah. This actual box came in last week. I haven't had a chance to go through any of it, but as you can see, it was a little monitor heavy. I have tested this monitor and it does function. This may be a cool one that we end up giving away with the donation. I don't know if you've seen these, but they've got metal bases. This is a very, very solid base, and I really do dig this thing. So we'll probably end up using that on a future video, or giving it away. That's what I'm thinking. So, all right, we were talking about we're going to be debuting something new here. We have gotten rid of Stumpy. So we finally retired the old Stumpy that decided it wanted to die on us all the time and kind of kill over whenever it wanted to. And we went to a brand new Stumpy. Now, so we're going to go ahead and give her a try, and we'll see how it does. If it turns out and pans out pretty well, then we'll go ahead and give you a little detail on it. See if you guys might want one of these things too, because they're not very expensive, but they do seem to have quite a few things that I do dig on. So, all right. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to move this donation box aside. We're going to take this out one by one and go through this stuff. As you can see, it is a little monitor heavy. I have not been in the box though, so I really have no idea what's there. And the other item that did come with it was beside the box. We'll get to that at the end. So hang tight 1 second here, and we'll be right back with you. All right, guys, so a little bit of an overview for you. This is a Dell 17-inch monitor. It was an office machine. These were actually pretty expensive. I remember when they came out. Now, we're going to go ahead and give old Stumpy his first test here. And there we go. Now, it should have been running this whole time, so if that little box hasn't been up there in the corner, you'll know something else was up. But as far as I know, correction, wait a minute. In this corner, Stumpy will be up here. So hopefully you will get to see all of this stuff live. That's what we're shooting for. This is her first real test, so we shall see. All right. So as you can see, this has got a steel base. This thing is really, really cool. It looks like brushed aluminum actually, but it's extremely heavy. I guarantee you that the base alone probably weighs 5 times more than the monitor. This will be one that we will end up giving away to somebody that needs a monitor. And let's crack this open and see what we got here. Looks like we got a keyboard. That is a PS2 keyboard. So this is old school. That's all right. You can always never go wrong having a few extra keyboards around, especially with some of the donations that come in. Now, this monitor I actually found pretty interesting. Now, it is a 19-inch. It's in pretty good shape. It's actually, I'd never heard of this brand before. Well, correction, I had. I just didn't know they made monitors. It's called a Westinghouse. What was unique about this particular monitor, and what may actually keep this on the workbench, when I was looking at the inputs, and I'm going to have Stumpy take a look at this. You'll notice that it's still got an antenna input, along with composite video, and an HDMI, and a VGA. The fact that it's got that means that all of these retro computers that you see on the stage, I can actually use on this monitor. So I haven't tested it, I haven't fired it up, but this one, if it works, will probably stay here with us. So we'll let you know on that one. You may see a lot more of that one in the future. All right, what do we got here? Got a box. Audio to car. Let's see what this is. This looks like some sort of an adapter to adapt your radio to an Xbox. I've never seen anything like this, and it looks like it's mostly in there. So we may play around with that. No way to know. We'll see. All right. We got a printer. Looks like a regular old DeskJet. Yep, DeskJet 1560. There are cartridges, but as we all know, the reason people get rid of these things is because the cartridges cost more than the printer. So it's almost more cost effective to toss the printer, buy a new one when your cartridge goes out. I don't know if it works, but once again, if we can find the power plug, which is proprietary, we'll get into that in a bit. This will probably be in the donations list too. I'll throw a cartridge in it for a family, that way you'll have a functioning printer. So, all right, let's go on to the next thing. Well, you just never know what you're going to find in here. We've got another Microsoft keyboard, another PS2. Yep. All right, hang on to that. Looks like we have got a Belkin. That looks like a UPS. Hold on one second. Let's pull her out. And see if that's what we've got. Yes, that is. This is a Belkin UPS. Once again, no idea if it works. The battery is in it, though. I'm going to turn it on here. And it looks like it may be functioning. We got a low battery alert. Heaven forbid. All right, well, we'll test that out. As everybody here knows, a UPS is a great thing to have. What else we got in this box? Looks like we have got, oh, this is interesting. Looks like we have got a video camera. Yeah, it looks like a Wisecom CCD. All right, so we're going to test that one out, see if it works. It may end up here monitoring us. Who knows? We'll see what happens with that. All right. Got several miscellaneous AV cables. All right. This looks like the AV adapter for that camera. Let's see. Looks like it's adapted into a standard. Yep, I bet that's exactly what that is. It's adapted from a standard cable, but it plugs directly into that camera. All right, so that's to feed AV into whatever device you're going to feed it into. So we'll take a look at that. That may end up being a video capture of some sort, assuming Stumpy here doesn't quite cut the mustard. So we'll see. All right, now we also have what appears to be a desktop PC speaker. That is precisely what that is. And it looks like it is a powered unit. I do not know the model. I'm looking now, but it is not written on here. So we'll just call it nameless for the moment. But that is a desktop speaker of some sort. Looks like probably a primary speaker. It doesn't look like a center channel because there's no left and right channels on this thing. So PC speaker. All right. Got a cable matters adapter to go from, from micro, this is actually kind of a good one, to go from micro HDMI up to VGA. So any adapters, guys, that you run across, they're always good to keep because, frankly, you never know when you're going to need these. So very cool thing. All right. Now we got what appears to be a Logitech base. Hold on one second here. That's exactly what this is, a phone base, but it's pretty tangled, so we'll come back to that. Got a Sharp alarm clock. Okay. And we've got a Logitech sub. Oh, and the speakers. So we've got a full set of PC speakers in here. It's a Logitech subwoofer and Logitech left and right channel. So we'll leave that in the box because we're going to have to come back to that at some point. But whoever gets this donation computer will probably end up with a pretty decent system. And it looks like we've got a generic unbranded mouse, but it is USB, so we will definitely be using that. All right, the rest of the stuff in here looks like it's just cables for the most part, so we'll go ahead and get to the meat and potatoes of this donation and what actually is going to make somebody very happy, a family out there that doesn't have a computer, can't quite afford one. So, all right. I'm going to clear out this area a little bit, and then we're going to bring out that meat and potatoes because I want to have plenty of room so I can show it to you. We'll be right back with you. All right, folks, back with you. So let me show you what we were talking about. Now, this was actually next to the box when it came in. This is actually a fairly decent HP. Now, The reason I know this computer pretty well, the family had brought this in for me, I guess it was probably about 6 months ago, to replace the power supply. It was totally dead. So we went ahead and put a 500 watt power supply in here, and everything started working perfectly. They have upgraded their computer since and did not need this one anymore, so they have donated it to us, and it will be going out to a family now. I know from experience, especially with this one, this is actually an Athlon processor running at 3 gigahertz with 4 gigs of RAM. It had a 1 terabyte hard drive that she had upgraded. However, as is pretty much common with the anytime you get this kind of donation, she went ahead and pulled the hard drive out, or I should say I did for her, so that she would maintain her data. I had already transferred all of her pictures and documents for her, but it's a good hard backup to have, so I gave her that drive. So we will be installing I believe I've got a 320 gig 7200 RPM Seagate in this system. That'll be the drive that's going to be going in it. And then we're going to be reinstalling the original Windows 7 that came on this machine using the CD key that was actually provided with the client. That way, everything is legit, everything's on the level, one computer, one key, all legal. So, we're going to go ahead and crack this open here in a little bit. We're going to take a look at what we're working with, and I think it's going to be interesting because, as I recall, this was in a kind of a garage environment, and there was a lot of dust when it came in last time. So let's see what it has built up in 6 months, shall we? Hang tight. All right, guys, we're back with you. Now, I have recentered Stumpy here. So the image is actually a little bit closer. We're going to go ahead and crack the side of this case and see what we're looking like in here. All right, as expected. And I'm hoping that the new Stumpy will pick this up. There is quite the collection of dust bunnies and yuckies in here. So we're going to have to get this one all cleaned out. As you can see, it is a single processor. This is an AMD 3 gigahertz. And the cooling fan, as you can see, spins. However, the fins on the actual cooler are pretty much completely blocked up. So we're going to have to clean this up, blow these out. I may even go ahead and pull this off, clean out the fan, and then put a new application of a thermal paste, just to be sure. I mean, you're talking about a client that's had the same on there probably since it was built, so it couldn't hurt. We do actually have a DVD writer on here, which is wonderful, and it does work. I know that for sure. Brand spanking new power supply. I'm pretty sure Stumpy's picking that up. It is shiny and new still. That's about the only thing new in here. But as you can see down here, if Stumpy's getting it, they did pull out the hard drive. So we are going to need to go ahead and install the hard drive, and then we'll be able to get everything going for them. So I'm going to start the cleanup process on this, and we'll be right back with you. Now, I will tell you, one of the things you do in this particular cleanup process, this is where dust always tends to hide. The cases clip off from the front. Oh, yeah, there we go. And this is where you'll get most of your dust, because this is where a lot of your air comes in. So we're going to go ahead and clean all of this up, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, folks, so we went ahead and I cleaned out the inside of it. I went ahead and pulled the CPU fan off. By the way, that was a perfect Jordan-like shot that hit perfectly in the trash can. Okay, maybe it didn't quite perfectly hit, but it hit near the trash can, so I get points for that. At any rate, I've gone ahead and cleaned up everything. I pulled the CPU fan off. I blew out the dust and everything. Now, I wanted to tell you one interesting thing did happen. The CPU had been in there for so long, and the actual thermal paste had turned to rock. So when I pulled the fan off of it, it stuck to the CPU and literally pulled it out of the socket. So, little lesson to be learned. If you own a client for a few years, 3 or 4 or 5, whatever, it's not a bad idea every now and then to pull out that fan, reapply your paste on there, close it back up again, just to make sure that this doesn't happen. So, all right, well, we're going to go ahead and case the side of this up and fire it up, and let's see what we get. All right, folks, let's fire her up and see what we get. I've got Stumpy aimed over at the screen here. At some point, I am going to get a video capture card so you guys can see this stuff live, but we'll take it step by step here. The new Stumpy does appear to be working and hasn't dropped anything yet, so I'm going to consider that a pretty substantial victory at this point. All right, we are in the BIOS. Looks like our new hard drive is identifying. And it looks like our DVD drive is also identifying. And it looks like one of our RAM banks might not be identifying. So we're going to reseat the RAM here in just a second, see if that takes care of that problem. Everything else looks fine. We are running at, there we go. All right, yep, we have a AMD times 4 running at 3 gigahertz. All right, so it's an Athlon 2. This will be a decent processor for a home computer. I mean, no heavy gaming, obviously, but for home computing, it's going to be just fine. Let me reseat that RAM. We'll be right back with you. Okay, folks, so off camera, I did a little bit of testing here, and if you'll recall, one of the memory banks wasn't showing up, and I went ahead and flip-flopped the RAM. The issue was actually following the RAM and not the actual port itself. So I determined this thing actually had 2 sticks. Oops, yeah, let me get Stumpy going here. So I'll show Stumpy here. It's got this Hynix. I don't know if Stumpy's going to make that out or not. Korean memory. Now I have had problems with these before, so I went ahead and I threw in a couple of Crucials in there. So we've got 2 gig sticks of Crucial, and as Stumpy can see here, I hope, we now have both banks identifying for a full 4 gigs of RAM. I will tell you that there's no telling how long ago this stick of RAM went out, but she's been running this system now, and I know she'll see this video, on 2 gigs of RAM for a couple of months now. I'll bet you it was dog slow. So hopefully one of these days we'll get the story from her and we'll find out. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead, we're going to get Windows 7 loaded on here. I won't bore you guys with the details of loading Windows 7. You've all done it before, and we'll be right back with you. Tell you one thing, folks. As you can see, we are currently loading Windows 7. I wanted to let you know. My daughter, who was in the room, actually pointed out that black is probably not the best color to wear when refurbishing old computers. So hopefully in the future I won't make that mistake again. It's pretty grimy back here. I'm actually going to have to clean it up. The one thing you guys didn't see is off camera when I was cleaning the thing out, I took some compressed air to blow out the vents on the, or the fins, excuse me, on the CPU cooler, and it just created this amazing cloud of smoke. I mean, almost like if I was a ninja and fired up a bomb of smoke, that's what I did. So, and then of course, you know, all that stuff ends up landing and settling, and then my studio will look like that. So, black, no-go, smoke, interesting. We'll see what happens on the next video. Be right back with you with the loaded version of Windows. All right, folks, back with you. So we've got a nice clean load of Windows 7. We've had no issues at all. It's actually loaded through clean. All of the device drivers did load clean, and everything is registering correctly. It is an AMD Athlon 2 at 3 gigahertz with 4 gigs of RAM. And it does actually have a shared video card, so obviously some of the RAM is going to go toward the video card, which is fine. The system is actually running fantastic right now. It's running very fast. I did all of the Windows updates off screen, and as you can see, we're running less than 8% of our RAM currently right now, just in idle mode. Processor bouncing around a little bit because we've got some background processes going on, but it's running fantastic. So for those who are wondering, this computer, along with a monitor, a keyboard, a mouse, that printer that you saw earlier, this is all going to be available from the Cattle Barn this weekend. If you're a family that needs a computer, that can't afford one, or your kids just need one for school, come by and see me at the booth. We're going to be giving this one away and then starting another project afterwards. So I want to thank you guys all for joining me on this. It's been a fun and dusty one, for sure. And I've got a couple more of these planned. We actually did get a couple more computers in, so we're going to get them up here, including one that I haven't seen in quite a while. So we'll be bringing that one up here on the next episode. Thank you guys for joining me. I cannot wait to see you again, and I hope you enjoyed the ride. Have a great night.